I'm gonna say something controversial and simply tell you guys I am very beautiful. I think I'm beautiful and I know I'm beautiful. And apparently that's a really controversial thing to say out loud, especially as a woman, even more if you're a dark-skinned woman. The moment a woman says she knows she's beautiful without shrinking herself first, people immediately start looking for arrogance or some type of negative reasoning instead of just accepting her words as just that, her truth and honesty. But I think that reaction that you may have given me or others would have gave me hearing me say that I'm beautiful says far more about society than it does say about me.
All my life I was told that, oh, you know, you're ugly and, you know, you're so tall and so skinny, and a beautiful girl is like, you know, like that.
How do you compare yourself to the other girls out there?
I don't compare myself to other girls. I'm Eva. I'm no comparison to anyone else.
Hi, I'm Miss Sunshine. This is my channel, and on this channel all we talk about is identity, culture, femininity, relationships, beauty, politics, and all the other strange little society rules most people won't admit exist but they follow anyway. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Chuck me a follow, please. Anyway, let's talk about the politics of beauty. There's a difference between being beautiful and being desired, yet society treats the two as though they should exist together, as though the final form of beauty must also be universally wanted by every single person. Desirability and beauty are not the same thing at all. Even as a child, I always considered myself quite beautiful. I'm not someone that you had to convince was pretty. I knew I was pretty, even if other people didn't believe it. I used to watch Tyler Bank and honestly believed that one day I could become a model if I put my mind to it. Tyler Bank probably should have not been my blueprint for beauty, but at the age of 10, none of that really mattered to me. All I saw was a black woman who was a model, and I was like, I could do that too. I just saw beauty, and I recognized it in myself too. The truth is, I never lacked beauty. It was simply that society had not fully made space for girls who look like me to exist within its preferred aesthetics.
So let's say this is beautiful people as defined by Eurocentric beauty standards, thin, white people, and so on. What is happening over time is they're expanding this to include more people, right? To include more black people, to include more fat people. But actually, they're doing it in a way that reaffirms the logic of the center. It's like an algorithm of beauty. When they include black people, they're going to mostly include light-skinned and or mixed-race people. When they do include dark-skinned people, they need to be thin, and they definitely need to be able-bodied. And so there's all these if-then, unless-if, blah, 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 blah. Like, you can be fat, but you can't be too fat. You can be disabled, but it should be invisible, right? Like, there's so many ways that it's just expanding a little bit, and it's always going to do the minimal viable, like, option. So it's just going to slightly expand so that it never actually subsumes everyone. If it were inclusive, everyone could be involved in it. But then the construct itself would collapse. Because then, if everyone was beautiful, if it was just like this, why would we even need the concept of beauty? And I don't mean like there is beauty in everyone. Absolutely. I'm not saying that that's not possible. We can see the beauty in everyone. But I'm saying beauty as a construct that is leveraged under capitalism and consumerism to sell us things that we don't need. They can't convince us that we're not enough if everyone sees themselves as enough. Therefore, only these people get to see themselves as enough. And the gag is they don't even. I'm not blaming them. It's because of the way that the logic has been constructed. But anyway, all I'm saying is they cannot afford for everyone to see themselves as beautiful.
I think that's something a lot of people struggle with and experience, but they just don't know how to explain it to other people. Have you ever felt beautiful but still felt like you weren't the preferred kind of beauty, or it was almost a crime for you to say out loud that you're beautiful because society hadn't yet accepted your idea of beauty? Please let me know in the comments, because I genuinely think this is a conversation bigger than appearance, and I would love to hear your opinion and perspective on desirability and beauty as well. I do not say any of this arrogantly or with like false confidence or anything like that, and I don't mean it in that performative internet self-love kind of way either. I mean it genuinely, honestly, and deeply when I say that I'm beautiful. Even as a little girl, I never questioned my beauty. My dark ebony skin looked flawless to me, despite what was being preached or pushed out there. I couldn't care less, and despite the endless suggestions from relatives and people around me, I always knew bleaching creams and lightening soap would never touch my body. What fascinated me the most wasn't my skin itself. It was the way other people reacted to my comfort within it. I mean, I only have one skin. I have to be comfortable with this skin. Like, I don't have a choice. Some people generally spoke about dark skin like it was something to soften, cleanse, improve, as though darkness itself was a flaw.
Y'all know she's dark skinned, right?
Well, yeah, we can see that.
Okay, just saying.
And even when I wasn't insecure, people constantly spoke to me as though I should have been insecure, as if I have a reason to be worried.
Oh, but you're so pretty though, as long as you know you're beautiful.
What the fuck, bro?
And I remember thinking, who said I wasn't? Like, I I know that. I know I'm pretty. That's not even what I'm trying to say. It literally confused me because they're trying to protect a confidence that had never actually been broken. And eventually I realized what was really happening. People weren't responding to insecurities. They were responding to contradictions. Society becomes deeply uncomfortable when someone exists outside of its dominant standards of desirability, yet still carries themselves with certainty. If I walk in a room where I'm not the desired prototype and I'm saying that I know I'm pretty, immediately people are going to look at me weird, because confidence is only celebrated when society believes you've earned permission to have it. I remember in high school liking this Islander boy because he was fine, my lord. And honestly, I think he liked me too. I mean, he did propose to me with a fake ring. Now, why I have grown into my looks and my beauty, even then I could feel the tension between attraction and social permission, because the beauty standard at the time was my light-skinned Ethiopian friend with long hair and lighter eyes. And she was very beautiful. I could never take that away from her. I couldn't even deny it even if I wanted to try. But so was I. But yet people would deny that fact simply because I didn't meet stereotypical standards. What fascinated me wasn't the existence of beauty between us. It was the unspoken understanding that desirability had already chosen its favorite person. And that was probably the first time I truly understood the difference between beauty and desirability. Beauty is personal. Desirability is political. People love pretending beauty is universal, but it never has been. Every culture creates its own hierarchy of attraction. Some worship thinness, others celebrate fullness. Some glorify light skins, while others tend endlessly trying to get darker, while other cultures believe the darker you are, the more beautiful you are. Some cultures praise soft features, others celebrate broad noses, strong faces, gaps in teeth, scars, height, maturity. Beauty has always been contextual, but desirability is something else entirely. Desirability is shaped by power, media, race, class, how close you are to whiteness. It is built from whatever image society chooses to reward at a particular moment in time. And for the most part, society has rewarded the likeness to white, the typical blonde hair, blue eyes woman. And this is why I can never fully trust beauty standards, because they change every 5 business days, like quite literally. We have people on Ozempics trying to get slimmer when 5-10 years ago, big was in style, big booties, people were paying for BBLs because that was the thing that was trending. One decade tells women to be painfully thin to the point where they're using corsets. The next tells them to be slim thick, have a little ass on you. Then suddenly the exact features people mocked 10 years ago become fashionable. And I'd genuinely love to know from you in the comment sections what beauty standards growing up affected you the most, or even what beauty standards you saw the most growing up that you didn't have but everyone thought was beautiful that they don't think is beautiful anymore. I think all of us inherit some strange social messaging around appearances. History has already shown us how unstable desirability is. Every decade creates a new ideal woman, the prototype. Bodies become trends, features become trends, entire races of women become desirable or undesirable depending on the cultural mood of the moment. That is not truth. That is not beauty. That is simply marketing. Maybe this is controversial for me to say, but I genuinely think many women confuse being ignored by mainstream desirability with being unattractive. I think many people spend their lives trying to become desirable before first asking themselves whether desirability is even a reliable measurement of wealth, because beauty and desirability are not the same thing. One is personal, as I mentioned before, and the other is a social currency. You need to ask yourself, which one do you value more, which one matters to you? And maybe that's why I never needed universal desire to recognize my own reflection correctly. I don't need to be everybody's preference to understand my own beauty. I am my own preference and I think I'm beautiful. Neither do you need that. You are beautiful because you say you're beautiful, not because other people tell you you're beautiful. What one generation mocks, another will worship. What one culture rejects, another paint in gold. So why would I build my identity on something so short-term, so temporal? I know I didn't say the right word, but listen, bypass that. Because why I'm not like the desire type in Chris Brown's Entourage, why I'm not the type that they would let into the club based off their standards, I am the type that they would let into a club in another place in Africa. If you made it this far, first of all, thank you for listening to me yap for the last 10 minutes. This video was actually inspired by my Substack article, The Politics of Beauty, where I go much deeper into identity, desirability, race, femininity. You'd be surprised I write, honestly. So if you enjoyed this conversation and want the full written piece, I'll leave my Substack linked below. It has more details, better spelling, better grammar, and you don't have to listen to me talk. Subscribe if you want more think pieces, because trust me, I talk a lot and I like to talk to strangers. So leave a comment so I can talk to you, please. I'll see you guys in the next video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And mwah, deuces.